should be.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Namaste.
Namaste. Good morning. And maybe it is a good evening there. Good evening also to you. I am very much overwhelmed to invite you onto the Zoom platform to address the students of MEI Polytechnic on the occasion of student induction program. In order to build the character in the students, in order to build the human values in the students, the coordination of the spiritual leaders like you is very, very required in this present situation. Thank you for accepting our invitation and coming over here to address our students. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Now, I will introduce the guest speaker, his profile. Today's guest speaker, Sadananda Prabhuji or Sadananda Dasa, his Purvashrama name is Satyabrat Jaina. He is a Hindu chaplain at MIT Boston. Andre ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನ ಕುರಿತು ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನ ಕುರಿತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಬೋಧನೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಚಾರವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. He is also the president of Indian Heritage Foundation, IHF ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಇದೆ MIT ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೋಸ್ಟನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಲೈಫ್ ಕೋಚ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರ ಮೊದಲಿನ ಬಯೋಡೇಟಾನ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡೋಣ ನಾವು. He has finished his Bachelor of Engineering in the Mechanical Engineering Department from Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology. NIT ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, NIT ಅಲಹಾಬಾದ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ BE ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ನ ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡಿ, NIT ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, we need to be extraordinary. He has done his MBA from SP Jain Institute of Management and Technology, Mumbai. So MBA also in OM he has done. OM stands for Operations Management. So his previous experience, let us see. He worked as a consultant at SAP CRM for 1 year. He worked at Infosys for almost 3.5-4 years. He worked as a plant manager at BOC India Limited for 5 years. There he was into the production planning and used to look after the shop floor operations. So in total, he is a spiritual leader and a spiritual counselor for Indian students at Boston. So today, Prabhuji is with us to give a guest lecture on the topic student character building through spirituality. So let us welcome Sadananda Prabhuji onto the Zoom screen on behalf of MEI Polytechnic Management, Principal, Head of Departments, all the faculties and the students. A hearty welcome to you, Prabhuji. Now I request Prabhuji to address our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ravindranath, for that introduction.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So it's been how many years since I've been practicing devotional life? Close to more than a decade. And before that, also I was practicing, but then not as a full-time missionary. And it's always a pleasure to meet the students because today's students are going to be tomorrow's citizens. Some of you will take up some positions of leadership. So when we aspire to become big, successful in life, it's also important to know what are the ingredients of being a successful man. Let me start with a story. I would like to make it interactive. If you are able to chat when I ask some questions. It'll be nice. And we will definitely have some time for question answer. I would like to hear from you, some of your perspectives and doubts. And if those can be answered, I'm sure that will help you more than just one-sided talk. So let me start with the story. The story is about a boy when he took birth. He suddenly started feeling his bodily parts, his eyes, his ears, his nose, his mouth. And as he started growing up, he also started feeling the bodily parts of his mother. And he realized that his mother doesn't have eyes. So he started going to elementary school. They call it as elementary school here in the US. And then he started looking at other children, other students, their parents. Every one of them seemed to have eyes, except for his own mother. He didn't share anything with his mother, but he thought his mother is something different. So when he started going to primary school, to secondary school, when his mother used to come to drop him off, he would say, just stay at a distance, don't come close. So his mother would say, okay, if that is what is going to give you happiness, be it. And she would not interfere. Time passed by and he went to a college, like all of you are in college. And the time came when he was about to get graduated. So there was an invitation for his commencement. And the mother, when she got to know about this commencement invitation, she was feeling it with her hands. And she was feeling so proud, and she was touching that invitation card with her chest, and she was feeling very proud of her son. That point in time, her son came and just snatched that invitation from her hands, saying that I don't want you to come to my invitation. I don't want you to come to my commencement. So the mother said, okay, if that is what is going to give you happiness, be it. And then time passed by. Their son graduated, got into a nice job, got married. And after marriage, they were living at a far off place. And his mother happened to visit him one day. And this boy had a boy. So he had become a father. And this grandson was crying, and the grandmother, or the son's mother, was just trying to pacify this grandchild. So that time, this boy's wife, she came and she told, because of you, my son is crying. Don't touch my boy anymore. And hearing those harsh words, his mother, he thought, okay, if that is what is going to give you happiness, I will not touch him. And these, this boy and his wife, they told, you better don't come to our place. So she left her place. She left their place. Some days passed by, and they got a news that she has passed away. The attorney actually called the boy and told that there is one letter which she has left behind for you. So this boy drove to that place to meet the attorney, and the attorney handed over the letter. And when the boy opened that letter, it was a hospital letter. It's a hospital bill. It was a hospital letter, and the letter said, actually, when you were born without eyes. It is your mother who had donated her eyes to you. Now, think for a moment. We may say that the boy really took his mother for granted. Or we may say that, the mother could have told him from the beginning, could have chastised him. But whatever it may be, when we think deeply our actions, that becomes the source of inspiration for a change in life. Most often in our life, we don't think deeply. We don't go deeper. You'll be amazed if you search in Google, what are the most frequently asked questions? Surprisingly, it is not about life. It's not about, some deeper questions. Why am I here? Why there are sufferings? None of those. The most frequently asked questions are, what is the time right now? I'm not making it up. You can search for it. What is the time right now? If somebody is typing that, he can see it as well in the laptop or in the phone. But people ask that, what is the time right now? What is a good restaurant near me? Right? Some of these kind of questions we often ask. My first point that I want to make today for all of you is the type of questions that we ask in our life, our lifestyle will become like that. Somebody who asks questions very superficially on the surface, he remains there. He doesn't understand the intricacy of life. He does not understand what is ultimately good for him. I want to tell you from Bhagavad-Gita, the yoga text, the wisdom text that we all should read. Very profound thing, very, very interesting thing. I'm sure you'll be knowing that it is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. And very interestingly, Bhagavad-Gita has got 18 chapters, but the entire first chapter, Krishna doesn't utter one word, doesn't speak at all. It's only in the second chapter that he begins to speak. But very important to know, so that doesn't mean that, the first chapter, there is nobody speaking. There are some verses spoken by Dhritarashtra, there are some verses which are spoken by Sanjaya, and there are countless verses, not countless, you can count, there are 43 verses in the first chapter, mostly spoken by Arjuna. He is giving reason and rationale for not fighting. Because on the other side of the battlefield, Arjuna is spotting, this is my teacher, this is my grandfather, how can I ever kill them? And he's giving reasons which are very ethical, moral, dharmic, very philosophically strong reasons for not fighting. And Krishna is just smiling in the midst of two armies. This chariot is placed, and Arjuna is looking at both the sides of the armies and spotting his own kinsmen on the other side. He's feeling compassion, and he's not able to hold his Gandiva, the vow that he has taken that he'll kill all of them. He's not able to fulfill that. And he is weak, and there are tears from his eyes. Ashru Purna Kulekshanam Visidantam Idam Vakyam Ubacha Madhusudana. Very interestingly, what is it that Arjuna did that provoked Krishna to speak? There is a verse, and pay attention to this because there is a secret lies in this verse. So Arjuna says, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prichhami tvam dharma samudha chetaha yat shreyasyan nischitam bruhitan me sisyastiham satimam tvam prapanna. He's telling, now I'm overcome with miserly weakness. Karpanya. There are two words which are used in Sanskrit. One is called kripana and one is called brahmana. Or a miserly person is one who has got a lot of wealth, a lot of money, but he does not spend. He is thrifty. He doesn't want to spend on himself. He's called a miser. So karpanya dosha pahata swabhava. Now I'm overcome with this miserly weakness and I'm confused about my duty. So he's telling there is a word, beautiful word, unless somebody tells you, you may miss it. Yat shreyasyan nischitam bruhitan me. Decisively, conclusively, tell me, O Lord, O Madhusudana, which is ultimately beneficial for me. Shreyaha. So in the Vedic literature, there are these two words which are used. One is called Shreya and the other one is called Preya. Preya means which instantaneously gives us gratification, which immediately fulfills our desires. Immediately these are attractive. You look at something, they immediately attract you and you indulge in that. That's called Preya. But Arjuna is using something called Shreya. Shreya means which is ultimately beneficial. If I give you an example, let's say a child, he loves to play. All of us, I think, when we were children, we love playing. We used to play, right? But our mothers, our parents, they were concerned because they knew that we would not remain in that state for long. We have to become independent. And if you have to become independent, then we have to study, which may not be appealing at that point in time, but that must be done. Similarly, in life also, there is something which is ultimately beneficial, and we need to know that. So I'll ask you now the time for question. First question. There is a very important proverb. I don't know how many of you have heard this, but let me ask this. If you know the answer, you can put it in the chat. If dash is lost, nothing is lost. So it has got three parts to it. If dash is lost, nothing is lost. If dash is lost, something is lost. If dash is lost, everything is lost. So the first one is if dash is lost, nothing is lost. Do you know the answer? You can, okay.
If you want to answer, you can raise your hand. I will unmute.
Kuldeep has
Students?
given his answer as money.
If you know even a single answer, money. Oh.
You're all right, actually. Kuldeep and Shashank, Varun, that's the right answer. Pradyumna. So the right answer is if money is lost, nothing is lost. The second dash is if dash is lost, something is lost. Anybody wants to go for it? Somebody has answered the third one. What is the second one? Time. 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 Time is not the right answer, though it's a good try. Health. Nataraj is right. So if health is lost, something is lost. Kuldeep is right. But if character is lost, everything is lost. Mind you, in the life, sometimes we are so busy. It's like a treadmill where we are running continuously without knowing really where we are going to, what are we going to achieve, what we want to do in life. We're just busy because everybody else is running in a treadmill. I'm also running in a treadmill without really defining, without really thinking deeply what is ultimately beneficial for me. In the society, you'll find that there are so many accomplished persons, so many successful, so-called successful persons, that they've fallen down from their grace because they didn't have the right character. Character is like that foundation on which you build the building. Imagine if there is a house that you see, it doesn't have a foundation. There is no foundation, only something somebody has built from the top, from the ground. It will not last. So it is very, very, very important to have good characters. Characters define us, who we are. Character is like that foundation. Without having the foundation, whatever we want to aspire to become, whatever success we want to achieve in life, will have no meaning. I want to share this knowledge from Bhagavad-Gita, where Krishna, when he's addressing to Arjuna, he's telling this transcendental knowledge. Actually, this is the most confidential knowledge. And this is the topmost knowledge. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Susukum Kartum Abhyayam, Susukum Kartuma. So this Raja Vidya, this is the most confidential. This is the king of knowledge. And Raja Guhyam, this is the most confidential. Pavitram, this is most purifying. Idam Uttamam, this is the best of the knowledge. But this best of the knowledge, if you want to receive, you need to have a qualification. Not everybody can receive it. It's a confidential knowledge. What is the confidential about it? The 700 slokas of Bhagavad-Gita, the 18 chapters of Bhagavad-Gita are known to everyone. You can buy a book and you can see it. Why is it called confidential? It is called confidential because you need a qualification to receive this knowledge. And what is that qualification? Krishna says that, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishayo viduhu. Earlier days, the prominent people used to get this knowledge, and Krishna gives the example of a Raja Rishi. Just don't try to become materially successful. Also build your character, Rishi. Be a saintly king. So if you are a saintly king, Raja Rishi, you become automatically qualified to receive this knowledge. What is this qualification that I'm talking about? Let me just illustrate that a little bit. I'll give you an example, a very contemporary example here in the US. Imagine if you have traveled or you have a ambition that you want to come to the US, right? It may look very prosperous from India. It used to look prosperous to me. It used to look glamorous to me. Some point in time, when I used to work here in the US earlier for Procter & Gamble, and that time I had a big ambition to go and travel and see these countries. But you'll be very surprised to know, actually, this country, the rate in which people are getting depressed, the rate at which people are committing suicide, The rate at which people are having divorces, alarming it is. The country which is supposed to be so prosperous, so advanced materially, they spiritually, they lack that character, they lack that strength to face the upheavals of life. If any reversals come, they don't know what to do. So coming back to this, the qualification part. Imagine somebody who comes from India for the first time. One of the first things that he needs to do is open a bank account. So there are different kinds of banks which are available. I'm sure in India also the same thing holds true. So when you walk into a bank, there'll be someone, a customer care executive who will be waiting there. Oh, good morning, sir. Please come in. We have so-and-so offers going on in our bank. If you open an account with us, you will get this benefits. And they'll give you a very nice kit. You'll have a checkbook or so many things, very attractive things. And they're very happy that you're becoming their customer. At that point in time, if you ask the customer care executive, ma'am, can you tell me how much of money do you have in the bank today? Not a good question to ask, especially when you're going for the first time and meeting someone and you're having this conversation. If you ask how much of money you have, if she is little polite, maybe she'll not say anything. If you go on insisting on that question, she may call the security guard. You'll end up in trouble. But imagine the next moment, if the bank manager walks to her and asks the same question, how much of money do you have in the bank today? If it's a old style bank, maybe she'll open the ledger and see what's the daily balance. Or if it's a computer, most of the banks are computerized, and then she'll just check what is the bank balance. To the last paisa, she'll tell this much of money is there in the bank. Question asked is the same. But what is the difference? One person has the qualification to get the answer, whereas the other one doesn't have it. So Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita says, if you want to access this knowledge, this is not a theoretical knowledge that you can access just like it is not some information. Oh, I'm reading so many things in my life. I also heard some information from Bhagavad-Gita. That information will not help. We need the knowledge which can transform our heart. And to receive that knowledge, I need to develop good character. Unless I develop those good character, I'll not be able to access, I'll not be able to understand, I'll not be able to appreciate. And these characters are so important in our life. Let me tell another story. It's a very simple, short story. There were three merchants, and these three merchants, they were passing through a forest. It was the dark night of Amavasya. It was completely pitch dark. Nothing can be seen. And these three merchants were traveling, and suddenly they heard a sound from the sky, a cosmic sound. And the cosmic sound told them, "Oh merchants, pick up some stones tonight. And whatever stones you pick up tonight, it is going to be the reason for you to become glad and sad both tomorrow morning." They could not understand much about it. They said, "We are already merchants, we are carrying so much of burden on our back. Now again, this sound, it is telling us to pick up some pebble stones. Doesn't make sense how much we can carry." But since it's a cosmic sound, they didn't want to disobey. So they picked up some stones. Whatever they could pick up, they just picked up, and they kept on walking. So when the morning happened, and the sun rose, they opened their bags to see what is there in that. And when they opened, they saw they were all diamonds. And they were so happy, they looked at each other. These are all worth crores of rupees. They became happy, they became glad. The very moment they became sad, they could have picked more. They could have picked more, but they just thought, my God, we are already overburdened. Why should we pick up more stones? In life also, this is the age where you can pick up good values. And these values are like diamonds. The values of this discipline, this character building that you can do in this time will help you in the end of your life. Towards when you become a little mature, when you look back, oh my God, these are so important for me. Imagine if you walk into a house and you see that the house has a garden and the garden is not maintained properly. The trees and the shrubs and the grass, they have grown unproportionately, this just unkempt, not properly maintained, will you feel happy about it? No, you'll not. You walk into another house where you have the grass is well maintained, it is trimmed, it is very nicely taken care. You feel so happy. Similarly, in our life also, if we don't take care of disciplining ourselves, if we don't spend time, if we don't think deeply to build character, then it will be like unwanted, those weeds and the shrubs and the trees. It is not attractive. No discipline, nothing. But if we discipline ourselves, if we don't allow us to indulge in those unwanted, uncalled for bad habits, our life will flourish. Our life will become like a beautiful garden. In the Bhagavad-Gita, there is one complete chapter which talks about divine and demoniac nature. Mind you, this two nature is there within each one of us. It's there within each one of us. Now, the demon will come out of us or the angel will come out of us. It all depends what kind of actions we are doing, what kinds of habits we are having. If we cultivate good habits now, the divine personality, the angel will come out. But if we cultivate the bad habits, unfortunately, the demon comes out. So I would like to pause, maybe see if you have any questions, comments, then I'll speak if necessary.
Any questions students are having, you can raise your hands. Or if you want to talk to him, you can unmute.
Sure.
It's a great opportunity for all of us.
You can ask related, unrelated questions, no problem.
Even they are hesitant to ask questions, Prabhuji. That is the misery of present generation. Since based on my experience, I'm telling you, people, students hesitate to ask the questions. I don't know.
That's maybe because they're shy or something. I probably don't know, but it's good to ask questions. Don't worry. If you have something that you want to hear more or want some clarifications, please feel free to ask.
You can ask in Kannada also, no issues.
I understand a little bit, but yeah, you can ask.
We'll translate if you need.
Please continue, sir. It was very interesting. Okay. I'll tell you another story. It's a real life story. Actually, we learn a lot from our own life's experiences. Life teaches us a lot, but unfortunately, experience is like a comb that we get when there is no hair. So if you want to learn quickly, you should learn from others' experience. I'd learn from different people when they're sharing. It's a great opportunity to learn. I want to tell you one real life story of mine. So maybe some of you can relate to, maybe some of you not, but it's a real life example. So when I started working for the first time, it was a company called British Gas. They have a subsidiary called British Oxygen Company India Limited, and I was working in Mumbai. So those days, this was in the year 2000. So living in Mumbai is always expensive, and especially if you're trying to live or you're trying to trying to rent a place in what is that, BT or that area, that Victoria Terminus, that portion. That's very posh area, and it's very expensive. And our head office used to be there at that place. So one day I saw that there was an advertisement by Leela Naidu. I don't know how many of you know her, but she was a former actress, and she was a Miss India. She was one of the top 50 beautiful women of her time. So Leela Naidu was looking for a PG, for a paying guest. And I thought it's a great opportunity to stay with such a diva, celebrated actress. I should just grab this opportunity, and I went. So it's a sea-facing house in Bombay, very posh. And Leela Naidu was 70, just for your knowledge before you think anything. She was alone. She was divorced twice. And she was very beautiful. And I was staying as a paying guest in her house. So Leela Naidu, very interestingly, her parentage is very interesting. Her mother is a French. So that's how she has inherited the good looks. And her father is a nuclear physicist, assisting Madame Curie. So she has the brains. It's not just a bimbo. She has brains as well as beauty. And I used to live with her. So I have heard a lot about Leela Naidu. I did some research before entering into her house. So I was very curious to know if Leela Naidu is the same Leela Naidu everywhere, or is there some personality like that she tries to show outside to the world, but there is another person inside. But very surprisingly and very pleasingly, I found that there were no two Leela Naidus. She was always herself. She was carrying herself the same everywhere. That is a very important thing in our life, is to have that integrity. Integer means which cannot be divided, right? Which cannot be put as a fraction. There is no two lives. Our Vedic scriptures talk about every one of us having three kinds of lives. One is called a public life, which we want to show to others what we are. I want to appear very dharmic. I want to appear very theistic. I want to appear very pious. So I show externally certain things. There is a private life. Private life I want to do with my near and dear ones, very confidential people. I want to share certain things, which I don't do it publicly. And there is a secret life. Secret life where nobody is there, where there is no bars, there is no jurisdictions, no prejudices, nothing. We can do anything, then that thing we do. Ideally, the Vedic scriptures are telling that our public life, our private life, and our secret life, there should be one. There should not be any kind of gaps in them. But it is very difficult. So it is only possible. It is only and only possible if we have good character, if there is no hypocrisy. And if we build that good character, what it does is it automatically makes us disciplined. It automatically makes us to do things which will help develop good thoughts. Mind you, in this world, when you are all students and you're going to study, people are so busy and obsessed about being productive. They have different kinds of apps. They will download this app, they will download that app, and they'll put everything, and minute to minute they're tracking so that they're productive. But what people often don't realize, that the time is not taken away by our activities, but it is also taken away by our thoughts. Imagine if you have kept 1 hour for doing your studies, and in that 1 hour, your mind is, disturbed or agitated because someone told you something before that. You're constantly thinking about that. Even though you are spending 1 hour time in that, for that activity, very meticulously, your efficiency or productivity is not there because you don't have a control over your thoughts. We live in a world where we have guided missiles, but our mind itself is not controlled, misguided men. So the scriptures that we have, like Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, if somebody studies this, these are wonderful literature. If you spend some time on this, then automatically it inspires you to develop good character. And once you have good character within, success is going to come. It's bound to come. Unfortunately, we are busy building this, tall building without focusing enough time on the foundation. The foundation is the character. It can be built if you take shelter of this wonderful literatures. I don't want to go on telling. I can go on. I mean, if you give me time, I can just go on. But again, I would pause and see if you have any questions or thoughts or anything you want to reflect that you heard.
Prabhuji, kindly, if you share your experience at MIT, that may inspire our students, the quality of work you are doing for India at MIT.
Sure. It's not any different. In fact, when I was in Bangalore, I used to visit so many engineering colleges. We used to go to MSRIT. I used to go to RV College of Engineering. In these colleges, we used to have regular programs. Like there used to be art of mind control. There used to be programs like for the youth, like yoga retreat and all we used to do. Because this age, it's easy to get distracted, very easy. Mind you, it's all up to us. At a certain age, especially the age that you are in, if you have right association doesn't mean only externally, with people or the friends that you have. That is also important. Also, the association in terms of books, in terms of what information you are putting inside, what are you trying to hear, where your attention is going. All those associations make a very huge impact. Fortunately, if you have good association, then you'll develop good character, you'll have good values, you'll become successful. Unfortunately, in this world, in present situation, the present time, the degree of misfortune is very high to come in touch with people who are not controlled, or who can show you something which is attractive at the beginning, prayers, but it is not shreyas, and we easily fall for that. So I used to do the program, mentoring and guiding and helping students when they face difficulties at Bangalore, not just Bangalore, in India. Same thing I'm continuing here. Here, it's not just Indian students, but the whole diaspora of India, plus the global citizens. So it's a very interesting service or a responsibility, I would say, when you inspire someone to take up to spirituality, because most people think spirituality is something which is to be practiced in old age. This is not the time. But our scriptures are telling at the tender age of 5, Kaumaram Acharit Pragyam. That is the time when we have to build our character. That is the time when we have to learn this. We are already late. So if not now, then when? So in the course of my day-to-day activity, I interact with a lot of students, faculties, and other MIT staff, MIT community. It's an interesting challenge when you have the best of the best from the world and they ask you questions, why spirituality, to convince them, to tell them that the scriptures that we have are so beneficial. It's a very interesting thing. That's what I do here.
Dear students, if you're having really the goals and aim of going for the top of the top universities across the globe, definitely you can ask the questions, because you can ask the questions related.
Not only reading Bhagavad-Gita just like that, we should read meaningfully. Am I right, sir? We don't know all the meanings. So not only reading Bhagavad-Gita just like that, we should read meaningfully. Am I right, sir? Maybe if I understood your question, you're saying not just for the sake of reading, we should read it in the sense we should study it and understand it, internalize it. You're right. Anything that you have to read, if you read sincerely, then only you will get the benefits of this. And Bhagavad Gita is a gold mine. It's a treasure. It's a treasure trove. How wonderfully all the information are so succinctly put into that. And the more you try to dig, the more you will get jewels from it. So reading at least is better than not doing at all. May not be the best thing, but at least you make some effort. But that effort will inspire you to read it more scrutinizingly. That effort will inspire you to go deeper, dig deeper. And that is how because it's a constant source of inspiration. And the more and more you read, the more and more you feel near knowledge, near realizations. The same question is repeated. Yes, sir. How to get admission and get top in top universities? Okay, whoever is at Kumar Swami. Okay, how to get admission and get top in the top universities? So you see, Kumar Swami, the first thing that is required in our life is to have a strong purpose. Strong purpose. Usually what we see is, if you see an iceberg, we see the top of the iceberg. Top of the iceberg is, oh, that person is so successful, he's studying in this university, he's doing this, or he's very successful in his life. But what we don't see, that the iceberg has 3/4 of it underneath the water. And underneath the water lies what we don't see, what the most people or the world doesn't see, is the hard work, is the planning and the purpose. There is a strong purpose which separates a man who's successful than a man who's not. The why I want to do this, why I want to go into that university. Just because it's the top university I want to go, or what is the reason? And that why has to be so strong, then it will drive away all the problems. The problems become problems when you see that, I am just trying to do something and the why is not strong, then all the problems appear very big. They appear, as if, oh, this is not meant to be done. But if your purpose is very strong, I really want to achieve this, then the obstacles also will not make difference. They will come, but you'll take it as part of your life, as part of the journey. This is coming as an obstacle. Let me overcome this and proceed. And that is how we could achieve this. How you deal when you are angry at God? Good question. So, in this world, all of us, when we don't know who God is, possibly no one can blame God or get angry at God. But when you truly understand the position of God, when you really know, there are basically three things to understand. There is Jiva, that is all of us, living entity. There is Jagat, or the universe, material world, and Jagadishwar, three J's. Jiva, Jagat, and Jagadishwar, or the Lord. Right? So when we don't know about someone, let's say, for example, I'll get angry at Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Of course, I know him that he's the Prime Minister. What kind of a person he is, I don't have much knowledge. Only what I hear from the media or what I have gathered from my sources that I know, I've found an impression about him. But if I get angry, it is not making sense because my knowledge about him is limited. So when we hear about the Lord, when we understand his position, when we know who he is, there is one verse in Bhagavad-Gita which is saying, Bhuktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyantva mam santimarchati. So Krishna's position, Krishna himself is telling in Bhagavad-Gita, Bhuktaram yajnatapasam. All the sacrifices that we are doing, all the sacrifices, it goes finally to the Lord. Bhuktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, and he is the controller of the three worlds. Suhridam sarvabhuta, he is our best well-wisher. He's seated in our heart. He does not want anything bad to happen to us. So you may still say, well, then still how bad things are happening to me or to anybody else in this world? That is because of our past karma, which we have done, we are getting the reactions. The Lord doesn't interfere in that. That does not mean that, the Lord is not taking care of us or he doesn't want to, he is not the well-wisher. He wants us to come out of this miseries. He is our best well-wisher. Under no circumstances, parties may change, people may change. Somebody who's your friend today can become your foe, can become your enemy. All these things can happen. The Lord is our best well-wisher. So when we have that knowledge, when we see from the eyes of the scriptures, Chakshu, Jnana Chakshu, then we understand the position of Lord, and we can never go into a situation where we will blame Lord for this. Actually, sometimes people blame the situations around them, people around them, because of you this is happening. Because of this, I could not achieve this. We hardly see the faults inside us. We blame the whole world. And if the whole world is over, then we blame the Lord. Oh, Lord, you didn't give me. I was the most deserving. I didn't get it because of you. Not true. Not true, actually. For example, let's say, there is a pebble, a small pebble. It is lying somewhere on a road or something, and you pick it up and you bring it close to your eyes. If you bring it too close to your eyes, it will block your vision. You will not be able to see. Similarly, sometimes when the problem comes too close, when we are thinking about it, meditating about it, oh, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Then that problem clouds our intelligence. It blocks our vision, thinking power. We're not able to think. The problem is not that the Lord has created one very important formula in your life. If you want to remember forever, it will help you. So what? Now what? Okay, let's say something has happened to you. So first say, so what? So what? So what this has happened to me? So what, this misery has come. Now what? Okay, it has happened to me. It has come to me. Now what? Now what should I do? Don't get caught up in that, problem so much that you don't even see what's ahead of you. Now what? I should ask myself now, how do I recover from this position? How do I pick myself up? How do I continue this journey? So in a incorrect, improper understanding of the Lord, we may blame him, but when we understand his true position, we will see that he's the best well-wisher of each one of us. Prabhuji, what are the books which has shaped you? There are countless books. I used to read a lot when I was a student like you, starting from fiction to non-fiction to all kinds of books. But I can say this much, don't read any of these fictions, non-fictions. These are all useless waste of time. If you want to invest your time, really, I'm saying this is an investment, right? People invest their money in some stocks or shares because they'll get returns. Invest your time in reading Bhagavad-Gita. Your life will be successful. The returns are unlimited. Any other questions, thoughts?
Any students wanted to say, can raise your hands. Yes, Kishan is there. Kishan, raise your hand. Okay, I'll unmute you. 1 second. Okay, unmute yourself, Kishan.
Yes, sir.
Wanted to say something?
Sir, the way I connect to God is the means through singing, sir. So, if you have time, I would sing for you.
Can you repeat that question one more time? I didn't hear you clearly.
Prabhuji, he wanted to sing a song for you.
We will keep that towards the end. I'm seeing there are some questions. So did you grow so much from reading Bhagavad-Gita? I would say the answer is 200% yes. I was a hardcore materialist. Not that it is bad. It is good to have material ambitions, aspirations, but it is also important to have the spiritual values. Without that, there is no balance in life, right? Sometimes we are so mad and blind about our spiritual goals, so mad about the materialistic pursuits that we are blind about the spiritual goals. So in that case, life always, you feel something is missing. I'm sure you would have also experienced this. All our parents throughout our life, they'll say, somehow, beta, somehow, beti, whatever, do well in this 10th exam. This is the most important exam. After you do well in this, your life is set. So you work hard, you burn your midnight oil, do everything, and then, get admission to some college. Somehow you say, oh my God, the 10th exam is over. And then you end up in some place like, you are there in the Polytechnic or in some engineering college or somewhere, some college. Then you realize that life is not over. Now it is a new beginning. I have to start, I have to perform, I have to do well. Then again, you start this. Hey, you have to prepare and do well. Somehow I have to do well. I realize that if I don't do well, then I'll not get a job. If I don't get a job, then life is finished. So I should do well. So you study hard and then somehow you get into a job. Then you think for that moment, oh my God, now life is set. I got the good job. My life is all set. But the moment you join that job, you realize that My God, the company has a hierarchy. There is I'm just a trainee. There is engineering officer. There is senior engineer. There is some hierarchy, and then the CEO, MD. So unless I do well, I'll not get even incentive. So you have to again work hard, work hard, work hard. So this is a mirage, right? You always go there. I'll get that. I'll be happy. The moment you reach there, you realize that the carrot has again gone ahead. So what to do in that case? So what our spiritual life, what it teaches is that in this material world, you can't be satisfied. You cannot be happy. The happiness does not lie outside. You don't have to chase something to become happy. The happiness lies within. There is a difference between having a big, wonderful life and a beautiful lifestyle. Lifestyle and life can be, somebody is leading a rich life, very affluent life, a lot of money, everything. Maybe very sad within his heart. Who knows? You may not have that much of money, but if you have the right values, you know how to be contented in life. You know how to be satisfied in life. You know how you can be, how you can be peaceful, how you can have a nice lifestyle. So what the spiritual knowledge does is it makes you grow from within. Material knowledge makes you grow from outside. It tells you how you can earn a livelihood, but how to grow in life, that lesson comes from spiritual knowledge. Is there a difference between being religious and being spiritual? Yes, in this, especially in the US, if you come, you'll find there is a group which is called SBNR, spiritual but not religious. The modern youth in the US, I can talk about them, even in India for that matter, most of the people are becoming averse to God because they don't know who God is. They don't have enough information. They don't know the science of God. So they are becoming averse to it. So that's why, and unfortunately, when they go to some temple or a religious institution, there is no one there to explain them why the action has been performed, why that ritual is performed. So a person who has got even little faith, he also feels, what is the point going there? It's all mad rush. Something is happening. That is the reason being our parents or our parents' parents, one of these generations have not passed on this knowledge to us properly. One generation, if they become little callous, little careless, then the knowledge doesn't get transmitted and we lose value. To illustrate this point, let me tell you a story. There was one marriage function which was happening. There was a marriage which was getting performed. So a boy and a girl was getting married. This is told by Srila Prabhupada, a very interesting story. So when they were about to exchange their garlands, they realized that there was a cat which was running in that marriage procession. So when the marriage was about to get performed, there was a cat running hither and thither. So the father of this boy, he told, somehow we have to grab this cat and do something about it. Otherwise it is creating a mess. Now imagine if a cat is running the place where you are, how easy it is to catch the cat. Not so easy, right? Cat is running here and there. So there are some people who are trying to catch the cat, grab the cat here and there. Finally, someone with great difficulty got hold of the cat. And then they brought the cat and they didn't know what to do. So they found a basket somewhere and they put the basket on top of the cat. So after that happened, the cat became a little quiet and they exchanged the garlands and the marriage got performed. Many years later, when these two people who were getting married, their children were getting married, the marriage function was about to get over, all the rituals have been done, and the children are, whoever, the son of these parents, he was about to exchange the garland with the girl. Suddenly these parents, they told, stop. In our family, we have a tradition, when the marriage is about to get over, we have to get a cat from somewhere, we have to buy a basket from somewhere and put that basket on top of the cat, then only the marriage will be done. You see, what was the incident, what happened when they were getting married, but how it gets communicated. So like that, when people are not there to share the knowledge, this information, this is so important. Unfortunately, we're from India. We don't know about our culture. We don't know about Mahabharata. We don't know about Ramayana. We don't know about Bhagavad-Gita. There is no one who's there to share. And so we also sometimes feel averse to all this knowledge. We think, what is this? Is also mythology. Mythology means myth is not a fact, as if some fictitious thing. No, these are all realities. So when we hear it from the right source, when we try to understand and apply it in our lives, we can see the benefits ourselves. I hope that helps. I don't know if I have missed any question and just saying thank you.
A big question one student is asking, Prabhuji, may not be possible. What is the overall moral lessons from the Bhagavad-Gita?
Okay, very good question. Whoever has asked, what is that name? Dhanush. Good
Dhanush.
question. Yeah. So you see, in Bhagavad-Gita, there are 700 verses. Unfortunately, when you try to speak something about Bhagavad-Gita to any Indian, mostly I've seen this, maybe there are a few exceptions. So they will say that, what is that? Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Karma karo, phal prapti ki asa mat karo. Unfortunately, people don't even know that that particular verse has another 2 lines. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर मा ते संगोस्तु अकर्मणि. They don't know about that. They say हम तो काम कर रहे हैं प्रभु जी, अभी हमारे पास कहाँ टाइम है फल की प्राप्ति. हम sorry, I'm speaking in Hindi. We are not attached to the results. We will do this. That's how they say. But that's not what Bhagavad Gita is all about. It is also one of the instructions which Krishna has given. If you say so, the question is, what is the main moral lesson of the Bhagavad Gita? The main moral lesson in Bhagavad Gita is never ever give up in life. Never ever give up. There is no situation in life which is so bad that you will not be able to face it. Krishna says in 18th chapter, 66th verse, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaisyami ma sucha. Ma sucha is don't fear. Don't fear in life. Don't be so afraid. Actually, people in this Kali Yuga, for everything they want quick solution. Quickly I want to get some, grab something. I'll go some fast food. So somewhere, everything it has to happen quickly. It's just like this, it should happen. In fingertips, it should happen. And they are also very quick to give up their hope in life. So quick, one difficult situation comes, and God knows, that person is fully gone. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is telling, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Just come to my shelter. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayasami. Doesn't matter how sinful you are, how fallen you are, doesn't matter. I will protect you. Come, surrender to me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayasami ma sucha. Don't fear. Don't have fear in life. This is the biggest lesson. If you become God conscious in life, you will be peaceful. There will not be any fear. There is a verse in Bhagavatam related to this. It says, Yashyam vai shriyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe utpadyate bhakti pumsa soka moha bhayapaha. So I don't know how many of you have this habit, but there are many students. When I was a student, I used to do this. I used to play some background music, slow music, and then I used to work or study. Especially if I'm working or doing something, I like putting some music at the background. So this verse that just I quoted, it's saying that everyone in this material world, that's all of us, without any exception, we hear to a background music. All of us we hear, and we don't have a choice to change that. And the background music is Soka Moha Bhaya. Soka is lamentation, lamentation for things which I could not do in the past. Oh, I could have done this, I could have got admission in that, I could have done this. Something, we lament for that. That's also in the past. Moha is illusion for the present. I'm this body, this house is mine, this land is mine, I'm gone here. So this is where I'm going to live for eternity. These are all illusion. So moha and bhaya for future. What will happen to me in future? What if I become old? What if I don't pass? What will happen? So this background music constantly goes on. But this verse is saying, Yashyam vai shruyamanayam. If we just hear about Krishna, hearing about Krishna means hearing about his glories, his pastimes, his names, or his instructions, which is given in Bhagavad Gita. If I hear Yashyam vai shruyamanayam bhaktir utpadyate pumsa, then in our heart there is devotion which is sprouted. And when that devotion is sprouted, so moha bhaya paha, this background music which is going on, where you don't know where is the switch to stop this, it becomes automatically stopped. It completely becomes stopped. Jai Lakshmi, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. What is your means to connect to God? Or how do you connect to God? Good question. There are more fake superstition than real superstition, sir. Okay, two questions. So what is the means to connect to God? How do you connect to God? Very interesting, very good question. Actually, in this modern age, in this age of Kali, in this age of quarrel, where our attention span is very, very low. Even to sit, I must congratulate you that you have heard me so much, but people find it difficult. The attention, I'm physically present, but my mind is going somewhere. Yeah. And when I want to do something, actually the discipline means when I want to do this particular thing, I should be able to focus on that. When a person develops that discipline, he'll be able to do that. But people unfortunately don't have any discipline. So when they're sitting to do something, when the time of study, they're thinking of somebody else. Girl, boy, or cricket or match or something. When they're playing, that time they're realizing, oh my God, I didn't do well my studies. I should have prepared. My exam is come. Neither they're able to enjoy here, nor they're able to enjoy. The discipline is something which we need to develop, where whatever I'm doing, my attention is there. Unfortunately, we don't have the attention now. So if you really want to connect to God in this kind of an age where our values are fast degrading, attention span is losing. In a verse in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Prayana alpa ayuso sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayoho manda bhagyahi upatrata. So people are short-lived. Their Prayana alpa ayuso means short-lived. The corona comes, wholesale people are getting killed. Not that, I'm saying it can happen. We could have been there also. Prayana alpa ayuso. Who knows I'm going to live till 100 years? Prayana alpa ayuso sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda. People are lazy. Not materially, spiritually. They don't want to take up with this path of spirituality. They think we will do it when we become old, when eyes are not able to see, teeth have fallen, kaan ko sunai nahi de raha hai, I'm using a hearing aid. That time I'll read Bhagavad-Gita. What you will understand is that Prayana alpayuso sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo. Intelligence is also not there. Intelligence is dull. We feel proud. We are making so much of progress, but Bhagavatam is saying intelligence is dull. One simple example, earlier days people used to hear and remember. That's why they call Shrutidhar, Shruti, to hear. Nowadays you have notebooks, then you have backups, then in cloud, then in everywhere you have to write down and put it, right? So, Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya, and unfortunate. There's no one who's there to share this knowledge. Upadrita, and they're always disturbed in their mind. So with all these problems, there is attention span is low, our lifespan is low, intelligence is dull, we are disturbed, unfortunate. What is the way to connect? The simplest, the easiest is if you're able to chant the names of the Lord. There is a verse in Bhagavatam which says, what is that? Asti hi eko mahan guna, kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajat. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. So Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Where you'll go and tell, this is not right. Everything is bad and faulty in this Kali Yuga. You can't say, oh, this person is not right. Everybody is like that. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan, asti hi eko mahan guna. There is one good thing about Kali Yuga. Kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajat. If you are able to chant the names of the Lord, this is a discount. This is a process which is given for this Kali Yuga. If I'm able to utter the names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. If you're able to do this every day, spend some time for yourself. Be selfish. Develop yourself. Feed yourself, which is starving. If you do this, you don't have to spend anything. Sit in one place. Now you've all woken up at 6. The early morning, when mind is unagitated, it is quiet, peaceful. Focus on this sound meditation. You do that, you'll be able to connect God. You'll be able to perceive the presence of God in your lives. That's the easiest way to do this. What is the difference between reading and studying? It's a good question. Reading, when you read, you really are not interested in understanding the essence of it. You are reading just because somebody has asked you to read. Your attention may not be there. Studying, you are you're paying fully your attention. It is like difference between hearing and listening. Now, all of you are listening to me. I'm using the word listening to me through Zoom. There could be some background noise which is going on at wherever you are present. But if your attention is here, then that is listening. There may be some sound which is going on. That is, you are hearing that, but you're not paying your attention. Similarly, the difference between reading and studying is you're putting your attention. You are internalizing it. You're reading with a goal to understand, assimilate, to share, to explain. That is studying. But reading is very casual. I have exceeded time.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. We will conclude now. Shall we listen to the song, the Kishan, for 1 minute? You
Sure,
had
sure.
promised him.
Sure.
Kishan, raise your hand. Yeah, unmute yourself, Kishan.
Jagada Nandaka Jagada Nandaka Haraka Jagada Nandaka Haraka Jagada Nandaka Haraka Jaya Janaki Prananayaka Jaya Janaki Prananayaka Jagada Nandakaraka Gagana Dipasa Kulaja Gagana Dipasa Kulaja Raja Rajeshwara Gagana Dipasa Kulaja Raja Rajeshwara Gagana Dipasa Kulaja Raja Rajeshwara Sugunakara Surasevya Yadayaka Sada Sakala Sugunakara Surasevya Yadayaka Sada Sakala Jagada Nandaka Haraka Jaya Janaki Prananayaka Jagada Nandakaraka.
Wonderful. Very nice.
So Krishna, on Krishna, he has sung a very good song. Thank you, Kishan. Thank you very much. So, dear students, we are running out of time. I'll conclude it by saying a few lines, 4 to 5 lines. What we have understood by this session, what are the important words Guruji, Prabhuji has given us? See, the type of question what we ask decides our destiny. Very important point. Then let us not work on the instant gratification, always work towards the delayed gratification. There is a good video in the YouTube, I'll send you. So the story is very interesting. Always we should have a long-term goals and try to work on that. Third point, there is one statement given by Prabhuji. If money is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. We have to work on this. We have to give our thought to this. We should try to analyze it. Then last, so what, now what? Something has happened at the past. Let us not bother about it. What best I can do? That I have to think. See, my dear students, Prabhuji is very much active in USA. In India, he is about, now it's going on, but he's most of the times he'll be taking, he's not interested in getting the name and fame. So that's why he's not on the social medias that much active. So even in YouTube also, and in some of the social media platforms, his videos are available. So please, you can watch them. And if you like it, you can like and subscribe. Okay. So with these few words, I'd like to thank Sadananda Prabhuji for his valuable time and presence and addressing our students. I thank Prabhuji for being with us on behalf of our management, principal, all the staff members and students. Thank you. 1 second. Raghuraman sir has raised the hand. Let me unmute him. Sir, please unmute.
Thank you, Vaimar sir. Just I would like to add to whatever you said just now.
Prabhuji, Mr. K.S. Raghuraman sir is a vice principal in our institution. I request him to address the gathering. Say a few words.
So thank you, Vaimar. I would like to add to whatever you said just now. Shri Sadananda Dasa Prabhuji. It's nice that a few more points. What I'd like to say is, he said that think deeply. It becomes a source of inspiration in life. The type of question what you ask is what decides your life. Have a good qualification that is required to get an answer to your question. We can always learn from others' experience. In life, what we require is a right association. So, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಂಘ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So, right association is very much important in life. And also, happiness always lies within. Our Prabhuji made a very good statement. He said that if you are spiritual, you can explore the happiness within. If you are materialistic, see, outside world is totally materialistic. So even materialistic requirement is always there. But one thing is, at the end of the day, you have to get within. So how to go within? You need to be spiritual. You need to practice meditation, as Prabhuji had said just now. And already Shri Y.M. Ravindranath sir has already put on the right track. See, he has been giving you a lot of talks. He has arranged a lot of talks for you. He makes you to undergo yoga exercises. He makes you also to undergo what is known as the meditation techniques. Why these things are being done is, you need to go within to explore the best talent what you have at the end of the day. So once again, I would like to thank on behalf of the management, our principal, and our Shri Ravindranath, our coordinator, to Shri Sadananda Dasa Prabhuji, because you have given a valuable time this morning for us. It was a wonderful session. We thoroughly enjoyed. We also look forward to have further sessions like this in the near future. Thanks a lot, Guruji. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your valuable time. Thank you once again. We'll meet again. Thank you, students. Thank you all. We'll end the session. Thank you.